right, guys, morning and happy Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Yep, Thursday. Losing track of my days now. But yeah, for those that don't know me, I am Ben Boggy, physical therapist and owner of Pro+Kinetix Physical Therapy and Performance. Today, we're just going to be going over some mobility exercises that you guys can do to kind of keep you mobile and decrease any stiffness or tightness that might be popping up from sitting more and just being less active and mobile. So if you guys have any, first of all, if you guys have any questions, just put them in the comment section. I've got the video pulled up on my phone here too, so I can see any questions that come through. I want to be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So that being said, let's go ahead and we'll get started. So I'm going to assume that everybody has a foam roller. If not, that's totally okay. I'll be giving modifications or different variations that you guys can do as well. So if you don't have the foam roller. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in this half kneeling position. Okay, right knee is down. What we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the right glute. Okay, we're trying to stretch this hip flexor in the front. And then we're going to pull our rib cage down, contract the core, and then we're shifting our hips forward. Okay, we should feel a pretty good stretch or pull in the front of our hip. Okay. So this hip flexor, if you guys have attended the mobility classes in the past, this is one that we've done previously, and this one is super important. So one that's going to be most prone to get tight from not moving and sitting more. All right. So this one's super important. So if this muscle gets tight, what it can do is, because it's attached to the pelvis, it can change that orientation of the pelvis and tilt it forward. And then what that's going to do is it's going to put the low back in a bad position, and then we can get a lot of low back pain because of it. Right? So let's go ahead and we're going to switch to the other side. Okay. So again, we're squeezing the left glute, pulling the rib cage down, and shifting hips forward. Again, we should be holding these stretches for approximately 30 seconds. I'm terrible at counting, but one trick that you guys can utilize is instead of counting this to 30 seconds is focus on taking 6 deep breaths by focus on our breathing and doing the diaphragmatic breathing. We're breathing through our stomach, within the chest. It helps our whole body, our entire body relax, and then these muscles relax as well. Okay. So we're going to go and take a break from that one. So what we're going to do next is called open books. Okay. So this is an exercise that's great for opening up the chest. Okay. So you're going to do is you're going to take the foam roller. You can use this as like a headrest. And what we're doing is we're bending our knees, and then we're opening up. All right, and then make sure your head is following the moving arm. And we also want to make sure we're keeping our knees down as well. And you want to pause for about a second or two at the end range position. And the good thing about using the foam roller here is as your head rotates and turns, then we get some massaging of the back of the neck as well. It can help decrease some of the upper trap tightness or the muscle that's on top of the shoulders. Let's do 2 more. And we'll switch to the other side. Good. All right, now we're going to lay on our right side and do the exact same thing. And then you can also kind of keep an eye out for which side is tighter. See if you're not able to get all the way down to the floor with this hand, or if it seems like it's easier on this side. Let's do 3 more. Good. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize this foam roller and we're going to actually put that underneath our mid back. All right. And if you don't have a foam roller, that's okay. What you can do instead is you can sit on a chair, or you can stand up, and what you're going to do is just fold over the top like this. Okay, get into this Y position, and then we're extending over and back. All right, and we're trying to open up that chest and expand that thoracic spine or that mid back. Okay, because when we sit with bad posture, our mid back gets pretty darn tight. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, actually I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see the positioning of this foam roller here. Okay, so again, this should be like right around your, placed right around your shoulder blades, or at the level of shoulder blades. Okay, and from here what we're doing is we are just opening up and folding over the top of the foam roller and then back. Okay, try not to let the rib cage flare too much. What I mean by that, watch what happens. Watch when I do this. Do you see how my ribs are kind of like sticking out? We don't want that. We want to try and keep that the core engaged and pull those ribs down, and then we're opening up. Okay. If we don't hold that rib cage down, then we're going to get a little bit more motion actually at the low back, and we won't be getting as much at that mid back, the area that we're trying to go after. You can pause for about 2 to 3 seconds at that bottom position. This one should feel pretty darn good too. Working on stretching the pecs, the muscle in the front of the chest, and then also getting into extension of that thoracic spine. So if you've been sitting for a long period of time, this is a great one to be doing and taking breaks to do. Pretty much just a reverse motion or position of sitting with bad posture. Let's do 2 more. Good. All right. So what I want to do today too is give you guys a good mobility routine that you don't have to actually get down on the floor with. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a chair, and we're going to go through a mobility routine that you can do just sitting at your desk, and something that's convenient to do. So I'm going to go grab that chair. I'll be right back. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put that in the chat. All right. So what we're going to do is you guys can go and grab a chair too, or you can do this kind of just sitting on the floor as well. See if you guys have any questions here. Okay, no questions yet. All right, so we're going to do, you guys have a seat. And what we're going to do is we're just going to work on getting these shoulder blades pulled down and back and get these shoulders back as well. So when we sit with bad posture and typing like this, do you see how my shoulders are rounding forward like this? We need to open everything up. And that's what this exercise over here that we just got done doing is going to help us with as well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands in our laps. What we're going to do is we're going to pull our shoulder blades back, try and squeeze down and back. Don't try and go up and back. Do you see the difference between this and this? We want this. Okay, don't shrug those shoulders. Okay, down and back, and then squeeze 2 to 3 seconds, and then relax. Down and back. Good. And we're just going to do about 15 of these. Try and get that shoulder back into a good position. And then make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall with this as well. It's going to make it easier for those shoulder blades to move. When we sit with bad posture too, when we tend to round out, the muscles in the mid back get pretty darn weak. All right, so we're trying to wake those muscles up with this exercise as well. It's not just a mobility exercise, but it's also kind of re-educating the muscles on how they're supposed to be working and moving. Let's do one more. Good. Relax. Okay. So we went over for the open books laying down, we can also do open books in sitting, okay? So this is a little bit more active where we're actually using the muscles, and waking up the muscles to get them moving. With that other one, we're able to kind of just let gravity do the work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our arms in front like this, and then we're gonna open up and try and get that arm as far behind us as possible. Again, we wanna make sure our head is following that moving arm. And again, we should be kind of squeezing the shoulder blades too when we get to that end position. We get the neck moving a little bit too. All right, 2 more. Good. All right, take a break, kind of shake the arms out. Might be a little bit tired from holding them up. We're gonna switch and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, arms here. We're following and opening up. You gotta make sure that head is following the moving arm. All right, and last one, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we want to also stretch the muscles up here, the upper trap, okay? You guys went to the ergonomic class I gave. We talked about how that upper trap, okay, muscle attaches at the top of the shoulder blade and then attaches at the base of the skull. That muscle can get pretty darn tight if we're sitting with bad posture. The reason for that is if we're rounded out like this and we're trying to look up at a computer screen, that upper trap has to contract to hold our head up. Okay, so if it's continuously contracting like this throughout the day, it's going to get pretty darn tight, and then we can get headaches and we can get some shoulder pain as well. So we're going to kind of stretch that muscle out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our arm and place it behind our back. Okay. The reason for this is because we talked about how that attaches at the shoulder blade or the top of the shoulder. Right? We want to make sure we keep that shoulder down so you can get a more effective stretch. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your other hand and place it on top of or the side of your head, and then you're just going to gently. Don't want to be yanking on it. Just use the weight of the arm to pull the head to the side a little bit. You should feel a pretty good stretch on the top of the shoulder here. We'll hold that for about 30 seconds. If you guys are having any specific pain points, or you're having pain in the knees or low back or shoulder, go and put in the comments and let me know, because we can also I can give you a few tips on that and mobility routine or exercise that you can do to help make that feel better too. So you guys can, those that are watching, can maximize this session today as well. Okay, let's go and switch and do the same thing other side. I've had a lot of patients, current and past, that never even had shoulder pain or low back pain. They came in with knee injuries that are saying that they're having a lot more neck and shoulder and even low back pain, and it's because of everybody's makeshift desks and workstations at home. So if you guys are having, so this is going to help a lot with anybody that's having some of that shoulder pain as well. But it's also super important to figure out, what the root cause of it is. I'm telling patients this all the time. We can do all the exercises that we want and corrective exercises, but if we don't correct the underlying issue or the underlying thing that's actually causing it, it's just an uphill battle. All right. See if you guys got any comments here. For sure, Jimmy. Yeah, glad you found it beneficial. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and go after another muscle that's kind of in that same region. So again, we're going to put our arm behind our back. So instead of tilting to the side, Now we're kind of pulling our nose down into our armpit. Okay, should feel a little bit of a different stretch. Might be kind of in the back of the neck. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different with this one. Okay, again, we just want to use the weight of the arm to pull that head down. We don't want to be yanking on it. Doesn't take a whole lot to get a good stretch with this. Okay, and then switch and do the same thing other side. So right arm behind the back, and then taking in the opposite hand, placing behind the head, and just using the weight of the arm to pull down. And relax. Okay, so that's going to help a lot. Those exercises are going to help a lot with the shoulder and then also the mid back as well. So if you got relief from that, that's a good sign. All right, it means we're on the right track. We just need to progress those a little bit, okay, and make sure that it's taken care of for good. If those don't seem to help, you need a more thorough evaluation or assessment to figure out, what's exactly going on. If that didn't decrease any of the shoulder pain that you're having too. Okay? Could be rotator cuff, could be shoulder impingement, could be some other things that are going on there too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move down into the lower back. All right. So what we want to do is we want to try and increase that arch in my low back and your low back as much as possible. You see how there's an arch here? That we want to increase that, and we're also going to round out as much as we can. And then we're arching, and then we're rounding. Okay, the spine likes movement. The more we keep that moving, the better that spine's going to feel. Okay, it helps lubricate those joints, those vertebral segments. We're going to do about 10 of these. Again, this should not be painful. None of these should be painful. If you do have pain with any of these, stop and figure out why. Okay, last one. Okay, good, and relax. Okay, last one I'm going to give you guys for chair exercises is what we're going to do is we're going to take our arm or our hand and try and bend to the side. Okay, and try and get as close to the floor as you can. And then we're just going to go back to the other side. Should feel a pretty good stretch. Kind of on the side here. We're just going back and forth. Make sure you're sitting with good posture with this too. We don't want to be slouched over like this. You don't want to be trying going down like this. Up nice and tall. And we're side bending. Do 2 more each side. Good. And relax. Okay. So that's a good chair exercise. I'm not going to overwhelm you guys with too much more exercise with regards to the chair. Those are 5 that are going to be really beneficial just to do on repeat. If you want a copy of those, instead of having to watch the replay of this, just email me or you can direct message me on Facebook and I can send that over over to your email if you would like. Happy to do so. All right, so we're done with the chair. Okay, we're going to finish up with just a few more on the floor and kind of go after that hip a little bit more. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get into position like this. So we have figure 4. So 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees in the back. And then what we're doing is we are taking our chest and leaning forward over our knee. We should feel pretty good stretch kind of in the glute area. All right, and we're going to switch to the other side and do the exact same thing. And again, we're just trying to take our chest and bring it to the knee. This is another muscle that can get pretty darn tight. So if any of you guys have heard of sciatica, we were actually stretching a muscle called the piriformis, and that sciatica means is referring to the sciatic nerve, and that sciatic nerve travels underneath the piriformis, the muscle that we're trying to stretch. So if somebody has sciatica, this is a stretch that I give them right off the bat to help decrease some of the pain or discomfort they're having. So we can get that piriformis to loosen up, then we can get to decrease that compression of that sciatic nerve and decrease some of that pain. Okay. If you guys take one thing from today, know that mobility is, it's great. Okay. Some people are going to have to do more mobility than the others. And I get the question, well, why is that? All right. The reason's simple. Everybody has it depends on everybody's strength level. All right. And if there's weaknesses in the body, if there's imbalances or weaknesses in the body, then different muscles that aren't supposed to be doing a whole lot of work will do a whole lot of work, and then they can become overworked and they get tight. Okay, and because these muscles are getting so tight, then that means we have to do more mobility work. Okay, so the piriformis is a really small muscle. It's not supposed to be doing a whole lot of work, but it will if the big glute muscles aren't doing their job. Okay, I see sciatica most of the times, 99% of the time when somebody comes in with sciatica, and it's because of this piriformis tightness, that they have glute weakness as well. All right, so 99% of people have glute weakness when they have that piriformis syndrome. Okay, and so big thing is the joints want stability. All right, and so if they're not getting stability, then they're going to start recruiting other muscles that aren't supposed to be actually doing that job, and then it gets tight, and then we have to do mobility day in and day out. You shouldn't have to be doing 30 minutes of mobility every single day. Right? If you move around and you strengthen up the right muscles, that's going to help keep the joints being from getting locked up as well. It's much easier to maintain strength than it is mobility. All right. So yes, you still want to be doing mobility every day, just more so if you know you've got some muscle imbalances or weakness. But more importantly, you need to get those muscle imbalances and weaknesses worked out as well. All right. So that's all I got for you guys today.